in progress. Okay, so welcome to this webinar, and thank you for taking the time out to come and spend the next hour with me. So I have been working with crystals for a long time now, for over 40 years, and I have explored all sorts of religions and belief systems and looked at how the emotions are affected by the way we think. I have myself gone through health issues and used vibrational medicine and holistic medicine as my choice of recovery. And so I put together a course, as a lot of you know, the diploma, where you can learn more about crystals, how to use them correctly. But the majority of information that's come to me has come to me from channeling, and I realized that I was a shaman. Now, what is a shaman? A shaman is somebody who can hear the earth. So it's somebody who can listen to resonance sensations within them and be able to interpret them. So, you know, if you feel something, then you can interpret that feeling, and it is not necessarily a communication that is verbally using words. And when we transcend words and when we move into the ability to be able to communicate with nature, to communicate with animals, to communicate with crystals, to communicate with ourselves more deeply, then we start to understand the ways of the wise ones, and that your inner world is exceptionally important to you, the way you feel inside. And you know, as the times that we live in at present are really more inclined to be pulling people's awareness into the external world. But when we realize that the external world is really just a vibratory reflection and reality of what's happening internally within us, then we start to take control of our health, our wealth, our wellness, our well-being. And when we understand that dis-ease is exactly that, it is not being at ease, and that the opposite of being diseased is being at ease. And many of us are spending a lot of time trying to return to that point of being at ease with ourselves, you know, at ease with the persona that we are wearing. Because a lot of us, you know, our internal voices, we can be quite cruel and harsh towards ourselves instead of being in love with our being and the persona that we are wearing, and the mental projections of the expectations that you have created in your belief systems of life and how they manifest in your world and create scenarios that can lead to disharmony within you. So when we work with crystals, we listen like a shaman. Now, the shamans, like I say, it's not a religion. It is more about the ability to be able to listen, really listen. And the first person you need to listen to is yourself. You need to be able to communicate deeply within yourself and not just reside in your conscious mind, but meditate or go deep within yourself. And you know, as shamans, we use vibrations like drums. I use singing bowls, and other forms of tools that can help me enter into my own inner world to be able to communicate in the silence, because that's where we get that deep communication, when we are really connected to the silence. If you look at nature, the natural order is silence. If you go out into, and then you'll hear, you know, the calls of the birds and the calls of nature and what have you, but the natural sound of nature is found within that silence, within that void that we connect to when we are in. And we're not meant to live in that all the time, but this is the way back to finding out who we are, knowing ourselves, loving ourselves unconditionally, and learning how to. One of the reasons the shamans say we incarnate is to truly fall in love and know unconditional love. An unconditional love comes through freedom of expectation. And just recently in my in a meditation when I was working with the ley lines in Glastonbury and in Malta. One of my guides spoke to me and said the ultimate surrender is the total release of expectation. The total release of expectation, of what you expect of life, of what you expect of others, and of what you expect of yourself. And when we do that, we fall into the rhythm and the flow of life when we have no expectations. We start to relax more. We start to let go of the control that has been initiated through our belief systems, the thought patterns of what might happen in the future. We learn how to bring our mind very, very gently into this moment in time. And, you know, initially when we start doing that, sometimes it can be really difficult to bring our mind really centered into this moment in time. But when we do that, we start to reside in the joy and the bliss of now, because we surrender into the vibration of harmony. And because we're in that vibration of harmony, then the future unfolds harmoniously. Most of us are in a vibration of fear of some description based on our mental programming and our belief systems and what have you, even if it's just uncertainty. Well, I'm uncertain about the future, and it's controlling your choices in life. And one of the things that a lot of the students on the diploma say to me is, you know, I want to give up my job and, you know, do crystal healing full time. I'm like, well, do it. Well, no, because I don't know whether I'm going to have enough money, so I'm just going to keep this job. And so the control is there. It is the fear of lack, the fear of not being supported. And I understand that these mindsets are within all of us, and these are what we are aiming to release, because they're what's causing us disharmony. They're taking us away from our joy, the ability for our body to be in that beautiful harmonious state. And when our body is in its harmonious state, it's called homeostasis. And when our body finally relaxes enough, you know, with the trust that anything that we need will be provided for, the trust that the universe is a place of love, not a place of fear. That when you are emitting a vibration, the vibration that you are emitting is going to be magnified and returned for you, and you will experience that reality within your life. When you understand that wellness and happiness and health come from the surrendering into the absolute moment in time and just being comfortable with yourself, being content, feeling secure in the knowledge that the universe has got you back, becoming creative, getting lost in your joy, your desire of life, of what it is that, you know. And how many of us get out of bed in the morning and say to ourselves, you know, what would I like to do today? I'm very, very fortunate. I've spent a lot of time on myself, and I don't just teach this work, I practice this work too. So I do get up in the morning and ask myself, what would I like to do today? But it has taken me time to get out of those old mindsets and release expectations and fall into the trust that the universe will support me and I will have whatever I need. And then I get into the creator mind, and I become the creator, and the creator is God, the God source. So the Jacqueline, the persona that I am wearing in this life, will then start to ignite the passion within me. And then when I follow my passion, you know, what is it I want to do today? And it might be that I just want to walk on the beach, or it may be that I want to make a painting, or I may want to, I don't know. And that is the lack of the expectation. That is waking up with the wonder of what today is going to bring. And that wonder then ignites the joy within you. And when you live in that peaceful, harmonious place, your body heals itself. Your body produces cells that are healthy. You are more in line with harmony. You are at ease instead of diseased. And there is a lot in society that we live in today that can create us to be out of ease, disharmonized mentally, emotionally, and physically. You know, we are permanently being told things. So valuing and discerning what you listen to and what you take heed to shamanically is so important. Your mind is so precious. And with social media and everything that's out there at the moment, you know, basically we are being told what we should eat, what we should not eat, instead of listening to the body. What does your body want? You know, feed your body what it needs. I know I enjoy nurturing my body. So if I crave something, or if I fancy something or desire something, I will eat it. I don't research whether or not it is going to be good for me, because these are mental programmings that are still happening, and they're very, very intense at this moment in time, especially with AI. At the moment, AI is feeding us a lot of information, and we're really struggling to discern what is true, what is real, and what is not real. And for me, I think the global transformation, and the shamans are saying, is that it's forcing us to honor our own truth and listen, really listen to ourselves. You know, how does my body react, and how is my body handling this? How are my emotions? Am I in joy? Am I making decisions based on fear? Am I relaxed with life? Am I in the flow of life? Am I resisting something? And just self-inquire and become the master of your own destiny. You know, a lot of the fears that come up are, you know, I'm doing it because I don't want to upset somebody. Well, that is a fear. I'm doing this job because I may not have any money. That's a fear, you know, and just look at reducing those fears. Now, for me, crystals and vibrational medicine have massively, massively helped me. And I genuinely believe, with society crumbling, the things that we used to have in place, the National Health Service, the governments, and people losing faith in everything, in the governments, in the National Health Service that's out there. And the reason that is happening is a good reason. It is forcing each and every one of us to take responsibility for our own wellness, and to understand that we need to be at ease. And when we listen, and when we truly, truly listen to what's going on within us, we can find our way back to harmony. We can find what we enjoy doing. We can live in that trust that this moment in time is all there is, that there is just a continuum of this moment in time, this moment in time, this moment in time, this moment in time. So this moment in time that I'm speaking to you now, you know, is past, and we're in the next moment in time. And if we can start to keep our mindset aligned with this moment in time, instead of letting our fearful mind rush into the future, into the past, we start to take back the control of our wellness and our health. So people ask me to help them with the crystals, because crystals really can help people to find that harmony. You know, why is this happening to me? There are crystals that will bring you insight and knowledge. And, you know, if you aim to resonate with your heart rather than your mind. And a lot of the times when we first start resonating with our heart and listening to what our heart truly desires, it will contradict your mind. So I'll just give you an example. I had a very poorly mother for a while before she passed away. And my head would say to me, you know, oh, a good daughter would do X, Y, and Z, and blah, 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 blah. And my heart was saying, I'm exhausted. I don't want to go. And my head would go, yes, but a good daughter would go. So I would go. I would totally ignore my heart. Now, this is just a throwaway one. There are plenty to go at, and there are plenty of reasons that we disregard our heart, because we have been programmed to believe. So when I decided that I had to face my fear, and my fear was that, you know, she would be on her own and nobody would be with her, and blah, 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 and all these fears were there. Once I faced my fears and said, look, the universe will support me, but it will also support her. And I know that whatever she needs, she will get, whether it's through me or it's through somebody else. And I faced my fears and said, right, I'm going to drop through these fears. I'm going to listen to my heart. My heart's saying that I'm exhausted and I don't want to go, so I'm not going to go. So I rang through and said to Mum, Mom, I'm not coming to see you this evening. I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm really, really tired. I'm so sorry. I hope you're okay, and I'll do what I can to come and see you soon. And she said, don't worry, my darling. Somebody's just come in from next door and they're sorting me out. That's when the magic happens. Now, please, I can give you story after story after story after story after story to encourage you to let the universe support you. But unless you take those steps to honor your heart's needs instead of what your mind is telling you to do, you will never hit synchronicity. You will never allow the universe to show you the way forward and to let you know that you are supported. That, when you follow your heart, even if it's contradicting your mind, even if it's saying, I know when I was, another story really, really quickly, I went on holiday and I could hear my heart saying, I don't want to go home. And my head's going, don't be ridiculous. You've got a business to run, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to go home. So I sat down and I said to my heart, okay, we'll stay. We'll stay. We'll just let everything go. I'm going to lose my fear of lack. I don't know where any money's going to come from because if I don't go home, I don't work. I'm going to lose my fear of where I'm going to live. I'm just going to live right now in this moment in time. And I sat on the beach and I said, I'm not going to go home off this holiday. I'm going to stay because my soul, my heart needs this rest time. And I've just got to drop through all my mindset fears. And there were plenty of them, believe me. What's my family going to think about me? And, how am I going to manage to live? And where am I going to live? And what's going to happen with the house? And blah, 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 blah. It was all going on in my head. And my heart's going, trust. So I never went home. I stayed for 4 years. And it was unbelievable because as soon as I did that, it was synchronicity after synchronicity after synchronicity. So the first thing that happened was I'd made the decision, and the first thing that happened, I felt joy all through me. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm actually doing this. I'm going to follow my heart. I'm just going to throw caution to the wind. Now, my husband, who's a Capricorn, very earthed, and I'm making these rash decisions. I don't want to go home. Just said to him, you can go home if you like, but I'm really going to make the decision to follow my heart. And I'm going to see if the universe will back me. I'm not going to go home. Well, what are you going to do? I don't know yet. I'm just going to wait. But in this moment in time, I've made the decision not to go home. So he also made the decision not to go home and stay with me. And we both then embarked on a keeping our mind in this very moment place, because the minute we thought about the future, or the minute we thought about where we're going to live, or what's going to happen, or who's going to say what, and blah, 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 then we fell out of harmony with the now. And when we fell out of harmony within the now, you could feel in your body all these fear sensations start to come up, and we live in an adrenaline-based world. So we would then just sit down and realign ourselves into, okay, I'm here now. This is what I'm going to do. I don't know how it's all. I can feel the fear in me. So I wasn't thinking, but I was feeling the sensations of the adrenaline in my body reacting to the fears that were in my mindset. And when you can feel that adrenaline in your body, it takes a while to get that adrenaline out of your body. And enough of it is poisonous and it can make us poorly. So, we ended up meeting a lady who decided that she needed a little bit of help with her horses. And my husband used to keep horses years ago and hadn't had contact with horses in absolutely ages. So he volunteered to go and help her. And she then said, well, where are you staying? And we said, well, we're on holiday and we're just hoping that we can find somewhere to stay. Well, as it happens, a friend of ours is moving out of an apartment. This apartment was seafront apartment with floor to ceiling windows overlooking the Mediterranean Sea. And I'm like, we can't afford that. And she said, it's really affordable. She went, it's £300 a month. I was like, are you for real? Are you for real? You mean £300 a week? No. It's £300 a month because the owner wants somebody to just stay here and make sure that the place is okay. So we ended up with an affordable property on this front line of the coast, overlooking the Mediterranean Sea. It was like the universe went, now you're listening. Now you're listening, and you are now living your best life. And this is what shamanism taught me, was to really listen and to trust. So while I'm over there, I'm getting phone calls. Don't get me wrong. The external world did not fall in line immediately with my choices, because then I had my daughter saying, ringing me, when are you coming home? Well, I'm not. Well, when are you coming home? I don't know, and I'm ready. Well, what the hell are you going to do? And blah, 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 blah. And so she was igniting all the fears that were in my energy field until I could realign myself and bring myself back and, just drop into what it is that my heart wants and not allow my mind to overtake. So I have been very, very fortunate to be brave enough to listen to my heart, to recognize that if I want to have pure bliss in my life and in my energy field, that I have to be able to override the fears that come up in my mind. And a lot of people go, yeah, that sounds amazing, but they never do it. And they never ever manage to reach that point where they have really listened to their heart. So what I did was, because we live in a world that is chaotic, with demands that are ridiculous, with expectations that have been created that are beyond our ability to be able to meet them. So people who are interested in crystals and shamanism and everything, they don't always have the time to go and do courses, to go and learn about these things. So after having a conversation with somebody about a membership program, I decided to offer a community membership program. I'll show it to you. I mean, it might be interesting, it might not be of interest, but this is really just my offering those that are interested in self-developing, that are interested in finding their shaman inside, because your shaman inside of you will take you into your heart. And if you have time and you want to join me, just a little later on in this hour, we'll do a little shamanic journey into your heart. But let me just show you what we created to help you guys to, here we go. So this is the website that we created. It is a monthly fee. And in here you have a calendar, and on the calendar it tells you everything that we're doing over the month in the, and if you want to join us, you can, and if not, then they are recorded and sent to you. We also have a community on the Facebook if people want to get in touch with each other, find out where they're from, make friends. We have support. So here, if you have any questions about crystals, about shamanism or anything like that, we have a crystal library, and every month you will be sent a crystal through the post if you decide you want to join. And here in the library is all of the details on every crystal, and you have all these crystals in here. You can back purchase the crystals, but if you started your membership program with us, you would get sent a crystal every month, and all of this is in here. If you do have a crystal and you want to know more about that particular crystal, then there is information in here. We also have meditations. So these are all the meditations. Now, you don't actually have to have the crystal to do the meditation. You can call on the spirit of the crystals. So we have petersite, tanzanite, emerald, ruby, sapphire, all of these crystals. When you click on them, you can see each of them is a meditation. So if we just look on here now with petersite, you would be able to click play on there, and you can either watch the video or just listen to me talking you through a guided meditation. We have podcasts because, flipping out of the man-made mind into the heart, it takes dedication and it takes commitment. And if you're discerning about the information that you're putting. I never hardly watch the TV because I know it influences my mind. I'm very, very discerning about what I allow my mind to be influenced by. It's got to be in love and harmony. When I'm listening to something, it needs to be loving and kind and warm. And B, it has to be somebody who I consider to be, a master in their field. And there are many. And listen and then be discerning about how I am. So there are podcasts on so many different, a diverse subject. We've got here myth and magic, pilgrims, we have ley lines, rising of the ancestors, the truth, the mountain speaks, all of these podcasts available to you to listen to at any point, and every month new ones get loaded. We also have guest speakers. We've got a fabulous USA guest speaker this month who is a luminary, and she lives in the mountains of America, and she believes that she has evolved into the luminous vibratory field that we are all able to do so, but we can't illuminate unless we get into our hearts. Now, you might go to a class once a week and you might feel that that's enough for you, and that's fine. I'm not telling you what to do or what not to do. What I'm telling you is, or asking you to consider is, do you not think it is a really crucial time for us to try and find our way back to harmony when 1 in 2 people have cancer? It really is. And cancer is disease. And then there are so many more people that have heart conditions, and that, the majority of society is diseased in some way or other. And so we have to take responsibility for our own wellness and well-being and harmony, and find our own way back to that harmonious state, and really listen to what is right for us individually, because what's right for me is not necessarily right for you, etc., etc. So you have to become the master of your own destiny. And all these people that are on here all have something to say for consideration. They're all linked to the holistic world. Cecilia is speaking about how therapeutic pottery is. We have Lynn, who is an angel reader and explains about how to trust deeper, maybe with the use of angels. We have Helen here, who has created sprays and things from nature to help us combat the atmosphere with the electromagnetic pollutions. We have energy medicine with sound with Lynn Smith. We have foraging with Sheila. Sheila talks about how you can go out and do some foraging. There are many speakers on here. This lady here, Emma Louise Summerfield, she started speaking to her inner guidance, and she entered what she said was the world of Celestria. And in her inner world, she found a magical world that she started to write about. And now she is a published author. And the world of Celestria is actually some books that are out there in the world. And that's all come from her meditating and going into her own inner world and finding inside herself this beautiful, magical world that she has written about. And then we have Monica Rose, who is a shaman herself, and she talks about how the drum can talk to us. So if you want to use drumming, it explains to you about drumming. This lady here, Dr. Duana Simpson, oh my goodness, she's so, so interesting. She talks about aliens and cosmic beings. She lives in Sedona now. She did live in Hawaii, and a very, very fascinating lady with some extremely interesting information to offer for consideration. And then I've done a little bit of talk on the ancient ley lines. You also have a Moon Masterclass. You get these wonderful cards to download. Now, if you were to the reason we've offered it is so you can do this and listen to it at any time you want. You don't have to, come to a class or sign yourself up for a class or anything. You can go whenever you want and just bring it up and listen to it so that you're working on yourself. So the investment for the membership is £33 a month. We only open it for a short length of time. The reason being that the administration and everything on it is quite involved, because we need to get you set up and what have you. It's 27th to the 31st of May 2025. So if it's something that you might want to consider trying, you don't have to stay for a long time. We do ask you to give us a month's notice if you decide you don't want to carry on, but it's £33 a month. And within your £33 a month, you get a premium crystal sent through the post to you, which is normally about £15. You get the guided meditation. Every month a new one is uploaded. You get the podcast, the library, the guest speakers, the Facebook group, and you have all of that available to you. Now, we're not doing hard sell. That's not the reason I'm doing the webinar at all. The reason that I'm doing the webinar is because I believe that a lot of us need help, and trying to find somebody who can offer you loving, kind, unconditional advice through the crystals for your consideration, and to help you connect to the crystal kingdom and your own inner world, because that's what the key is here. It's about helping you talk to and get to know you. So I will put in the chat the link to put a registration down if you want to put your name on the waiting list, because we do have already a few people on the waiting list. But if if it's not for you, then that's fine too. But just so you know what we're offering, why we're offering it, and what it's all about. So here is the link should you decide you want to put your name on the waiting list. So the way the shamans work is they believe in community, and the segregation that we are experiencing at this moment in time through COVID and all sorts of other things that have happened has created a segregation, and smaller communities now are being formed. And that's what I feel this is a community of like-minded people who can share information. There is also a group, a WhatsApp group that you can go on to share information, to let people know what you're doing, to be with authentic people, because we all wear a mask for some reason or other, to present who we feel we should be to the world. Well, when you drop that mask and realize that, I'm no different to you, you're no different to me. I've got to live with Jackie. And sometimes Jackie can be quite demanding, and other times she can be very vulnerable, and other times she can make mistakes. But my inner world has to get comfortable with her. So just getting comfortable with yourself and not having high expectations of yourself. I went to a grammar school, and I went to a private school, and so the standard of education and what have you, and the ability to always be positive was drilled into us. And there was never ever a time when you could say, I can't do this. And when I actually allowed myself to say, I can't do this, I felt a massive release within me to acknowledge that it's okay. It's okay to just be you, instead of trying to be the you that society, that life, that your belief systems, that your upbringing has brought you to believe that you should be. So with the community, what we do is every month we have a Shaman Council, and this is for you guys on the membership as well. And the Shaman Council is where we invite the community together to go through a traditional shamanic council. And the traditional shamanic council would be where we drum, we meditate, we connect with our ancestors, and we pose a question. And you ask your ancestors the question, and then you see what we get. Now, I know that one of the, I sat with the Lakota, and one of the ladies who also sat with the Lakota in Newcastle started a shamanic council for young ex-offenders, and it gives you the opportunity to sit with people and to be honest about who you are, and honest about where you are, and honest about how, maybe you can't cope, or maybe, but just to have the realization that, it's just one moment in time, and tomorrow you could feel totally different. And that's surrendering into the feeling that you're experiencing, instead of resisting it, will let it dissolve, and tomorrow you'll feel totally different. And sometimes we don't acknowledge what's going on inside of us because we're not aware. So sitting in a shaman council really offers us guidance on what's right for us, and then we move on to what would we like to see in the community. What would you like to see in the community? How would you like to see your life? You know, we're living in a very chaotic world, so we don't take the time to say, how would I like to have my community? What would I like to do for the community? And because we've got online presence now, we can have an online community, which is what we've created. But you could maybe even consider doing something for your local community where you live. So the Shamanic Council is an opportunity to experience what it would have been like to sit with the shamans and to discuss where you are, also how you can help in a community and be part of a group consciousness rather than just an isolation of your own consciousness, and have loving, kind people around of you. They say, see through the eyes of love, hear through the ears of love, and listen through the heart of love. And when you apply this to the crystals as well, you'll find that the vibration is hugely, hugely different. So taking your own responsibility for your wellness and your happiness, and altering your internal vibration and releasing these mindsets requires the commitment and the love of yourself to be able to do it before you get poorly. You know, if people do get diseased, out of ease, disharmonized or whatever, then they then start to say, you know, what can I do? And many people go down the allopathic medicine route, which is absolutely fine. Their choices are there. But I don't feel that there is enough choices available to us to have that option. Now, I've chosen to go down the holistic route with my health issues. And it is as demanding as going down the other one, but it's all natural, and it gets to the root of whatever's causing you mental or emotional or physical disharmony and makes you address those fears. So I just want to open it up a little minute now to see if anybody wants to ask me any questions about shamanism, or about, you know, listening to the crystals, or about wellness, or about anything. Would anybody like to ask me any questions? You're very quiet, you lot. I don't bite. I really don't bite, and I'd be honoured if you wanted to ask me a question. Oh, Denise, there you go. Thank you.
Actually, Jackie, I don't want to ask a question, but what I do want to do is fully endorse the membership program. I am a qualified crystal healer in another school a couple of years ago now, or quite a number of years ago now. And since I found you and your crystal school, it's just absolutely amazing. I do feel part of a community. I do feel part of everything. I'm speaking genuinely here now from the heart, because I was sat here thinking to myself, how could I recommend you to somebody as a mentor? Because I think you're just the most amazing person I've ever met. You definitely work from your heart. You're incredible, really. And from my own part of view, that £33 a month is repaid over and over again. I've only been a member for about, I don't know, maybe 6 months now. I'm not really quite sure. I can't remember. But I've thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed everything I've ever done with you. And my only regret is the things I've had to miss because I've not been able to do them. So, you know, if anybody's hesitating, I'd say really just go ahead and do it, because you're adding to my CPD as well, in lots of ways. There's lots of ways you've helped me, you know, as well. Even make sense of the crystals. You know, I have a certificate. I'm supposed to know things. There's still things that I'm finding. There's different ways of addressing things. There's different ways of thinking about things. And it's really done me an enormous power of good, really. And I just want you to know that. So I'm sorry if I've taken up too much time, but it's all just come out because I want you to know how happy I am that I am a member of this community. And I'm so grateful. I'm glad I found you, really.
I'm welling up. Thank you. so much. Thank you. Thank you. I have never been a businesswoman. Obviously, this is what I do. I teach angel classes and I work with the crystals. And so when I was asked to put the academy together, I ended up having to employ people to help me. And what I feel it is to just let people know that I'm here. It's not about, exploiting anybody, but there are, we live in a material world, and so we have to, honor the fact that people need finances for appreciation. And the way I look at finances, the economy is it's a way of appreciating. And so it can get misconstrued with people. It's like, oh, she's trying to sell the membership, but that is not the case. And thank you for, reiterating that, Denise. My genuine, authentic reason for creating the membership and the diploma and everything else is to let people know we have a choice.
A
We
choice.
have a choice. You do not have to get lost in society. You do not have to push yourself through and be driven by the fears that we all have going on in our mindset. We can get through them. And, the crystals have brought me my health issues, and they've been the greatest teachers. And it's been demanding dropping through some of these fears and what have you. And, documenting this to help other people, then, it just makes my heart sing that you feel that it's helped you in that way. So bless you, my darling, and thank you for saying that. I truly appreciate you. Jude, hello, gorgeous.
Hello, I've finally met something at last. Um, Again, to reiterate what Denise was saying about the membership, the community, um, I would never in a million years believed what I would be where I would be here now. And doing the diploma really sort of set me on my path and got me into a place where I could actually be myself. So when you're saying question yourself, I do that all the time now. I've recently talked to you about a family problem we had, and the advice you gave was so invaluable, and it sort of clarified what I needed to do, and I went away and I did it, and it's got me through this crisis that we're going through, which we're still going through at the moment. So if anybody's in any doubt about being worth the value of money, like Denise, it would be absolutely worth every single penny that you pay for the advice, for the support. You're not judged. It's just unconditional love that you're given by the people in that community as well. And the Shamanic Council is an amazing thing to go to. I love it, absolutely love it. And I've actually just found somebody in our area that are doing a training for shamanic practitioners. So I'm actually going to look at doing something like that as well. So yeah, it's just wonderful.
It is, but it's only wonderful because you're putting the work in. You know,
Yeah,
I can offer these information out to people, and the reason that I'm here is to just say, you have to do the work.
yeah,
Nobody can do it for you. And I
no,
know with my parents, and maybe some of your parents would have been the same, it was doctor knows best.
yeah.
And now we're in a time when doctor doesn't know best. The person that knows best for you, what is right for you, is you.
I've got three clients now that come back on a monthly basis who have been amazing. They've changed their attitude, the way they look at things. They actually work with the crystals, the ones that I advise them to now. So I feel now that through learning about the crystals and how to sort of resonate with them, you're then passing that lightness and that energy on to other people to open their lights up as well. So yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
It is. And being in service, I know some of the people that were on the diploma class, they say, oh, I want to be in service. And I was like, even the understanding of that terminology that you want to be in service, what is it you're in service to? So shamanically, you're in service to your own light, your own happiness. That is it. You're not in service to people. You are in service to people when you are shining your light so brightly, you're so happy, you're so joyous that that vibration is affecting every, have you ever been in the company of somebody who is just so happy and so in tune with life and so relaxed and so harmonized? Okay. Not all the time. But you know, when you are with these people, you feel amazing. And when you're with people that are, oh, and I've got this happening, I've got that, they drain you. So the only thing that you should be in service to is your own happiness, your own joy of life, listening to your heart that will contradict your head. It will tell you, this is not for me. It eliminates, it will bring up initially guilt. It's like, oh no, I can't do that because I feel really, really guilty. You only feel guilty because the fear of. Fear of is the false evidence appearing real. And the false evidence can actually be the mindset that you have been brought up, programmed to believe, or it can be your projection of an illusion of what might happen in, oh, well, if I don't do that, this, and this might happen. Being truthful to yourself, being honest with yourself, and being in tune with your heart, really, really, when you start to trust, you enter the magic. You really, really enter the magic. And it's a journey not for the faint-hearted because, realizing that you're afraid of something or you have a fear of something, then, and saying, right, okay, I'm going to trust my heart. My heart wants me to do this. And then you start going in that direction and it's all amazing. And then you fall out of the balance of the now and into the future, and then everything goes blah, 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 and you're like, oh my God, sugar, what have I done? I should have stayed where I was. And then bring yourself back. Okay, I'm here now. Have I got enough for today? Have I got enough for now? Is everything okay today? Yes, it is. Right, balance yourself right back here. Keep going, step by step, moment by moment, movement by movement. Then you are aligned. And people talk about alignment with their chakras and everything. That's alignment. The alignment of the mental connection with now, here, not thinking about the future, not dragging the past with you, but being content, happy, joyous now. So if you're all ready now I can remember, I'll make you laugh because I can remember one lady came to me years ago. She's a lovely lady, and I was talking to her like I'm talking to you guys now, and she said, I don't have a very good relationship with my husband, and I don't like my job, and blah 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 blah. And I said, what would you need to make those changes? She said, I think I probably need some motivation. So I said, okay. So I gave her some garnet. And sure enough, the week after, I thought I'd created a monster because she came out. She said, right, I've kicked my husband out. I've sacked my job off. She went, and I'm ready for whatever the world's got to bring me. And she said, and I have never felt more alive in my life. She went, and I absolutely love that you have helped me do this. Now, actually, I do know where she went from there because she didn't have a great deal of money and she decided that she wanted to drop through the fear of lack. She now lives in a bloody mansion in Lytham, in a really, really big house. She came into some money. She said, I knew I was going to come into some money. I knew I was going to come into some money. She said, and I just knew I had to just vibrate in the frequency of abundance rather than vibrating in the frequency of lack. She went, and I realized how much I was vibrating in the lack. And she said, I recognized that I had to let go of all deprivation. If I want something, I have it. I do not have any deprivation. If I have the money in the bank, I will buy it for myself. Whatever I desire, I will allow myself to have, trusting in the now and not on any level projecting lack into the future. And she went, and look where I am now. And she was saying that she'd done all this work on herself. She'd got some advice from me, but she's done it herself. And she now lives in a beautiful mansion, happy as Larry, as far as I'm aware. I haven't seen her for a while because she's living the dream. So it is possible to live the dream. It is possible to be really healthy. It's really possible to be happy and align yourself, because this is the thing, people go, oh, I've aligned my chakras. Well, what have you aligned them to? Well, I don't know. I've just aligned them to, I've aligned them. Well, what have you aligned them to? Well, I don't know. That's what they say in it. You align your chakras. Well, yes, you align your chakras, but you align your chakras so that you're fully present right here, right now in your body, and you're not living in the future or in the past. So would you like to do a little meditation with me? I can put a little bit of a drum on if you like, so we can do a bit of a drumming and see if you can align yourself with the now, aligned with this very moment. And remember, this moment has passed. It's the next moment now. And now, oh, it's the next moment. So make sure that you have your alignment with the moment. There's a few questions here. I'll just run through them really, really quickly. The link for the website and for the waiting list to go on the membership is on the chat at the bottom. Christine, you would need to do a class with me or go on to there are things on there that will tell you how to listen to the crystals. So you are doing exactly the same. The crystal is resonating a frequency that will affect your internal world. So when you hold a crystal and you open your heart and ask that vibration to go within you, you listen to your inner world and you'll get a feeling or a sensation. Your body may even draw your attention to a certain part of your body. So when you're holding a crystal, you may find that inadvertently you start thinking about your lower back. And that is a crystal vibrating to an area where there's disharmony within you. So there's no communication as in verbal communication. It is a resonance. And the way you would do that is to align yourself with the present, hold your crystal in your hand. We're going to go through it shortly in a minute to show you how to align to your heart, and then use that crystal. And all of the crystals have all got different frequencies. So they'll all be able to show you, and the information on the crystals is in the library, and they would all be able to show you where there is any disharmony relating to the vibratory frequency that the crystal is emitting. So if you're holding rose quartz is a crystal of motherly love. You know, people say rose quartz is a crystal of love. No, it is love, but it's motherly love. So if you do not mother yourself very well, or you have not got a very good relationship with your mother, or there is mothering issues going on in your energy field, rose quartz will enlighten you to where they are happening in your life, and that resonance will bring that into your life for you to become aware of where you either, you know, for me, I'm a natural born mother and I want to mother the whole blooming world. And when rose quartz showed me that I was overdoing it, basically you just need to pull back a little bit and let people mother themselves. I had the realization. So rose quartz works with a mothering energy and will enlighten you to any imbalance within the mother within you. Aventurine is more of a divine frequency. So if you're looking for a divine unconditional love, I'd work more with aventurine than rose quartz. But the way that the crystals speak to you is through resonance, my darling. So just call from your heart to the earth through the crystal you're holding and ask that that energy of the crystal interact with your neurological system and go into your energy field, and you hold your awareness within on your whole body without expectation, and just listen to what and how your body responds to the vibration of the crystal. How can I interpret the beautiful energy I receive from crystals? I bought a huge piece of rose quartz. Oh, that's a bit apsu. Today, and when I held it to my heart, tears flowed. Okay, right. So maybe after the conversation about the mother within, so it may be that you need to mother and nurture yourself, or maybe you're nurturing everybody else and you're not nurturing you. Maybe you're missing your mother's love and you need to work on, you know, mothering yourself more. Maybe you need to find something that is going to help you bring up that mother within you, but it will definitely be linked to a mother's love, rose quartz. How did you find and know that shamanism was right for me? Okay, so I fell upon it, to be honest with you, because when I started writing the courses when I was in my 30s, so 30 years ago, and I started exploring belief systems and religions and how mindsets affected our being and what have you. And as I was exploring Hinduism, Muslim, Catholicism, all these different types of religions, I realized that every single one of them had the basis of love with them, and that it was the rules and regulations that had been implemented within the religion that was creating the disharmony. And then when I found shamanism, it was just so beautiful, because The shamans just honor the earth. They know about the different multi-dimensions. So I'd been going into these different dimensions in meditation for years, not realizing what I was doing. They created grids and they lived in they understood the pyramids, they understood the ley lines in the earth, and I realized that I was doing all that naturally and that it fitted with what I was already doing, and so researched it some more and found that yeah, I didn't realize, but a shaman is an aspect of self. It isn't a religion, it is the shaman within you. You might want to give it a different word. You might want to say you're in a guru, whatever you want to say, but it's the shaman is the person that can hear the earth. Kirsty says she has health issues. How do I know which crystals to work with? Okay, well, just start off with don't start panicking about which crystals you should or you shouldn't work with. You can do simple dowsing over cards. You can go into a crystal shop. You can have a look round. You can read about recommendations. You can just go into a crystal shop, put your hand on your heart, and just say to your own inner guidance, which crystal is going to be most apt to help me, and then just see which one you're drawn to. My husband is a jeweler by trade, and we used to have people coming in. Some people would be drawn to sapphires, some would be drawn to emeralds, some would be drawn to diamonds, some would be drawn to pearls, and it's like, why are people being drawn to different colors and crystals? And I began to realize that magnetically you are automatically being drawn to what you need. So if you find, a black crystal beautiful and somebody else looks at it and goes, that's bloody awful, I want that one, it's because you have a resonance with it. So just relax, know that it's just natural, and whichever crystal you pick will have, all of the crystals will have an impact on you. But if you're in doubt, maybe start with clear quartz and then just see which crystals start to make themselves known to you, and do everything that you can to relax and be at ease with yourself, and don't put any pressure on yourself of worrying about whether it's the right crystal or the wrong crystal. Just sit and find that quiet space with it, and everything else you'll magnetize it yourself to you. I'm finding the external environment brings energies that I feel. I would like to learn how to deal with the various energies. Okay, yeah, Julie. The external world, I can't go into cities anymore. I live by the seaside, and I can go in nature, but I struggle to go into the cities with the electromagnetic pollutions and what have you. And there are crystals that will help you deal with that. For instance, amazonite. Amazonite is a really good crystal to help with electromagnetic frequencies. You can use smoky quartz, you can use amethyst. There's quite a few different crystals that will deal with electromagnetic frequencies. But if you're finding that you haven't got any of your sacred space, then something like obsidian contracts your energy and helps you pull back. So if you feel that it's too overwhelming for you, the obsidian will contract your energy back into your inner world so that you can sit in your inner world and just disassociate yourself a little bit with the outer world. So the contraction of energy is ideal if the outside world is overwhelming you. But if you're a little bit depressed, then the black crystal is not the best for you. You need something like a mixture of the black and the white. So snowflake obsidian would be really good, because that will help you have the balance of the two, so that you're not too in the external world, but you're not too in the internal world. Again, a lot of information here would need expanding on. This is just a general insight. Christine, you're absolutely welcome. Tears flowed in a beautiful way, not sorrowful. That's so lovely. It's a reminder of that mothering energy, the Mary Magdalene energy, the Mother Mary energy. When you connect to those frequencies, it just brings a pure, beautiful energy of nurturing that comes through. So we've still got time. If you're happy to stay, we can do a little meditation. I'm going to put some drumming on, and I'd like you to just draw your attention back into you. Take a nice, slow, Deep breath and close your eyes to get into your inner world. And just relax, just be aware of your own physical body, and just try if you can to have no expectations of yourself, no expectations of whether you reach your heart or whether you don't. And just be at ease with everything, even be at ease with disharmony. You know, so if in your body you're feeling something and it's not feeling very nice, then try to get comfortable with the not very nice and relax into it instead of tensing wherever the energy is. And just be aware of your energy field. And another thing to think about is place your awareness on your feet and see if your awareness is more on the right or the left side of the body. And just center yourself and breathe slightly deeper, breathing in, exhaling, breathing in and exhaling. And let's just be for the next 2 or 3 minutes while we listen to a drum. In the silence of the mind, just be aware of your own heartbeat. And ask your heart, how can I be in service to the joy of my own heart? And have no expectation. Just listen to the joy of your heart. What brings you joy? What does your heart want to say to you this evening? Just be here now. It's through the silence that you feel your heart. You don't necessarily hear it, you feel it, you sense it, and you know. What choices can I make in my life to enhance my wellness? And then slowly bring your awareness back. And don't worry if you didn't recognize anything. Just take time to reconnect with yourself and getting out of the head. Even if you just sat in the peace and quiet, it will have done you the world of good by just bringing your awareness into the stillness of now. And the more you do this, the more you practice it, the more you can get in tune with your heart and what your heart is desiring and helping you live in those higher vibrations. Okay. Sounds like we've got somebody who wants to join in. Good job she was then and not when we were doing the meditation. Okay, well, thank you for joining me this evening. I hope you have benefited a little bit from the shamanic listening. And the listening is listening to yourself and listening to your heart and listening to what's going on inside of you and trying to maintain that seeing with that compassion. And, and remember that, oops, oh, everything's going off now, isn't it? And remember that it's not always that easy to be, your own persona. So remember that, everybody out there is doing the best they can with their version of themselves. And so if we can start living more in compassion and kindness, and we can feel the benefit of that in our body, when we get aggravated and angry at people and what have you, then it really is not serving you well. So looking at trying to see the world through compassionate eyes, feel the world through compassionate eyes, and hear below the aggression or the upset or the angst or the adrenaline based file, whatever people are doing at you, just hear that, that person, what is it they say? Only a hurt person hurts. And when you remember that, you remember that that person is hurting. Doesn't mean you've got to stay and take the abuse. It means that you can remain compassionate and choose to walk away. But, living in those vibrations will serve you very, very well, and make sure that you stay in harmony with yourself. And that way you're doing a service to yourself, but you're also doing a service to the environment, because you're kicking out that harmony in the environment. And if I do it, and you 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 do it, eventually harmony will return and will be the status quo here on earth. So we have a little bit of a job to do, each and every one of us. And if I can help in any way, then by all means do so. And if not, good luck on your journey. And let's see if we can't get back to that harmonious state. Okay, my darlings, thank you for joining me. And we'll send you the recording if you want to watch it. And if not, that's fine. Take care. Bye-bye for now.
Thanks.